Have you ever felt like you just don't fit in? Like you're on the outside looking in, observing the world while everyone else is caught up in the hustle and bustle? What if I told you that this feeling, this tendency to be a loner, isn't a weakness, but a genuine psychological advantage? Today, we read diving deep into the fascinating science that suggests people who prefer solitude often see the world with a clarity that others miss. This isn't about being antisocial or shy. It's about having a brain that's wired differently in a way that can be incredibly powerful. Let's start by busting a huge myth. Society often paints loners as sad, awkward, or even arrogant. But psychology tells a different story. For many, solitude isn't about loneliness. It's about choice. It's a deliberate act of stepping back from the social noise to recharge, reflect, and simply be. Think of it like this. When you're in a crowded, noisy room, it's hard to hear your own thoughts, right? You're constantly reacting to what's happening around you. But when you step outside into the quiet, suddenly everything becomes clearer. This is the loner's default state. They spend more time in that quiet space, which allows for deeper processing of information. One of the key psychological reasons for this enhanced clarity is a reduced susceptibility to social conformity. There's a famous experiment in psychology called the Asch conformity test. In it, people were shown a line and then asked to match it to one of 3 other lines. It was an easy task, but the catch was that everyone else in the room, who were actors, deliberately chose the wrong answer. A surprising number of participants went against what their own eyes were telling them and agreed with the group. This shows how powerful the pressure to conform is. Loners, by nature, are less concerned with fitting in and gaining social approval. They're more comfortable trusting their own judgment and perceptions, even if it goes against the popular opinion. This independence of thought is crucial for seeing things as they truly are, not as the group wants you to see them. This leads us to another superpower: heightened observation skills. When you're not busy participating in group dynamics, worrying about what to say next, or how you're being perceived, your mental energy is freed up to simply watch and listen. Loners are often master observers of human behavior. They notice the subtle cues, the body language, the inconsistencies between what people say and what they do. They're like social detectives, piecing together a more accurate picture of a situation because they're not emotionally invested in the outcome in the same way. They see the patterns that others, who are caught up in the action, completely miss. This isn't about being judgmental. It's about having a more objective and data-driven view of social reality. Furthermore, spending time alone fosters deep, introspective thinking. Solitude is the breeding ground for self-awareness. When you're by yourself, you're forced to confront your own thoughts, emotions, and values. You have the time and space to analyze your experiences, learn from your mistakes, and understand your own motivations. This high level of self-awareness is a form of clarity in itself. If you understand your own biases and emotional triggers, you're better equipped to see the world without those filters coloring your perception. People who are constantly surrounded by others may not have this opportunity for deep self-reflection, and as a result, they may not fully understand why they think and feel the way they do. Creativity is another area where loners often excel, and this is directly linked to seeing the world differently. Many of the greatest artists, writers, and inventors in history were known for their solitary nature. Think of Isaac Newton, who developed his theories of gravity and motion while in isolation, or Vincent van Gogh, whose unique artistic vision was cultivated in solitude. Solitude allows the mind to wander, to make novel connections, and to engage in what psychologists call divergent thinking, the ability to generate creative ideas by exploring many possible solutions. The constant chatter of social interaction can actually stifle this process. To create something truly new, you often need to disconnect from the old, from the established ways of thinking, and that disconnection happens best in solitude. Now, it's really important to distinguish between chosen solitude and forced loneliness. Loneliness is a painful, negative state of feeling disconnected against your will. We're talking about the happy loner, someone who genuinely enjoys their own company and chooses to spend time alone. Their social life might be smaller, but it's often deeper and more meaningful. They prioritize quality over quantity. They don't need a large group for validation. They find validation from within and from a few trusted relationships. This secure sense of self is another pillar supporting their clear-eyed view of the world. They're not looking to others to tell them who they are, so they're free to form their own unfiltered opinions. Let's think about decision-making. People who are comfortable with solitude tend to be more rational and less impulsive decision-makers. Why? Because they take the time to think things through without being swayed by groupthink or emotional contagion. When a group gets excited or panicked about something, that emotion can be contagious, leading to rash decisions. The loner, observing from a slight distance, can maintain a more level head. They can weigh the pros and cons more objectively and make a choice based on logic rather than social pressure or herd mentality. This is an invaluable skill in all aspects of life, from personal finance to career choices. This ability to see clearly also makes loners incredibly authentic. Because they spend so much time getting to know themselves, they tend to live in a way that is highly aligned with their core values. They're less likely to pretend to be someone they're not just to gain acceptance. This authenticity can be magnetic. While they may not have a huge circle of acquaintances, the friends they do have are drawn to their genuine nature. They offer a stable, reliable perspective that isn't constantly shifting with the social winds. They are the friends you go to when you need an honest opinion, not just someone to tell you what you want to hear. So, how can you cultivate this kind of clarity in your own life, even if you're not a natural loner? It starts with intentionally scheduling time for solitude. Put it in your calendar like any other important appointment. Start small, maybe just 15 minutes a day. Leave your phone in another room. No music, no podcasts, no distractions. Just be with your own thoughts. It might feel uncomfortable at first, and that's okay. Our brains are so used to constant stimulation. But over time, you'll start to appreciate this quiet space. Use this time for reflection. You can try journaling, or simply sit and observe your surroundings or your own thoughts without judgment. Practice mindful observation when you are in social situations. Instead of focusing on what you're going to say, try to just listen. Really listen. Pay attention to people's body language and tone of voice. Try to understand their perspective without immediately formulating your response. This act of stepping back, even mentally, can give you a much clearer picture of what's actually happening. And finally, learn to trust your own intuition. The next time your gut feeling contradicts the popular opinion, don't dismiss it. Pause and explore it. Ask yourself why you feel differently. What are you noticing that others might be missing? The more you honor your own inner voice, the stronger and clearer it will become. It's like a muscle. The more you use it, the more reliable it gets. Embracing solitude and the clarity it brings doesn't mean you have to renounce your social life. It's about finding a balance that works for you. It's about recognizing that time spent alone is not wasted time. It's an investment in your mental clarity, creativity, and self-awareness. So if you've ever felt like the odd one out, the quiet observer in the corner, I want you to reframe that. You might just have a front row seat to reality, armed with a psychological superpower that allows you to see the world and yourself more clearly than anyone else. Thank you so much for watching. If this resonated with you, let me know in the comments. And for more insights into the psychology of everyday life, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. See you in the next video.